So yeah, we start off with some very good scenes with Mama Grimm, her henchmen, and Cindy. They are discussing evil plans involving Haven Academy and the Spring Maiden. That's pretty much it.
Ice Queen is back at Atlas, and other than having to practice singing for the entire time that she's there, things are mostly going well for her until her father's concert, where this rich snob starts talking shit about the fall of Beacon. Ice Queen is pissed and summons a whiteboard to attack that slob. Honestly, I would have let her die there. After embarrassing the family, Ice Queen is grounded in her room, and Colonel Sanders tells her that she is no longer the heiress to the Sanders Dust Company, and that is passed off to her brother Bitch Boy. Ice Queen cries for a moment and decides, screw you, Dad, I'm gonna live my own life. And with the help of her trusty butler, Alfred, she sneaks on board a ship to leave to Atlas towards Mistral.
Kitty heads back to Menagerie along with Monkey after she found out he had been secretly following her ever since Beacon. We meet Kitty's parents, who are the chiefs of Menagerie. We also learn that some of the White Fang members are here, and they work for the worst. They work for the worst character in the entire show. Oh yeah, we also get introduced to this chameleon lady who is spying on Kitty's family and failed to apparent her. Ryder, could you please double check this? We then learn from Kitty's parents that the worst is planning to overthrow the leader of the White Fang and launch a full-scale attack on Haven Academy, which sets up for Season 5.
So Goku's been chilling at her dad's house, still depressed about the whole missing arm thing, and does suffer from PTSD nightmares of the worst. But after Papa Burns gives Goku some of that powerful fatherly wisdom, Winter Soldier equips her new arm and prepares to head towards where her mother has been living this whole time.
Red and Co. have worked their way towards Mistral, and the Fun Uncle has been carefully following, aka stalking. I mean, you could join them. That's an option. Please. Be normal. So we learn that Mr. Booze is the Fun Uncle, in other words. His semblance is apparently just bad luck. And this is why he kept his distance all this time and just decided to stalk like a creeper. It's complete BS.
Red and Co. get attacked by Scorpion. Scorpion gets close to stabbing Red, only for Mr. Booze to swoop in like the badass he is, and blocks a shot without even looking. They fight, Mr. Booze gets poisoned, Red cuts off Scorpion's tail, and he runs off like a little bitch. Mr. Booze then tells Red and Co. everything they need to know about the Maidens, Mama Grimm, and some of the lore about the two gods of this world, one creating life and one creating destruction. Both of them together created humanity, and boy was that a mistake. Lastly, we learn that there are gifts left by the gods: knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice. And these all take form in physical objects and are guarded by the 4 academies. So yeah, guess what the plot's gonna revolve around for the future seasons?
Red and Co. try to get Mr. Booze to a town where he can be healed. They come across Ninja and Thor's old hometown, which has been abandoned ever since this monstrosity killed everyone living here. So that's great.
This thing still haunts my nightmares. And since it's the final episode of the season, you know we gotta have a giant fight with this demon. And like, for fuck's sake, just die! And by some convenient timing, a couple of Mistral airships show up and take Red and Co. towards Mistral. The end.
Oh, and forgot to mention that this farm boy, we're going to call him Donnie, has been making his way to Mistral with Dumbledore's spirit. So now it's like mixed together and did the Dragon Ball fusion dance, but yeah, whatever. He starts making his way to Mistral in the credits.
Mr. Booze and Co. meet up with the Haven headmaster, Cowrie Lion. We learn that those artifacts mentioned in Season 4 are locked inside chambers, which can only be opened by their specific maidens.
Currently, the Spring Maiden is currently with Burb, Winter Soldier's mother. Why is she a Burb? More on that later. But as the Fun Uncle and Co. leave, we learn that Cowardly Lion has been secretly forced to work for the villains.
Winter Soldier beats up some guy in a bar, and like, is this guy made of rubber? Like, he fucking bounces up the walls like a yoga ball. We cut back to Donnie bringing back home a very drunk Mr. Booze. What a surprise. Donnie reveals to them that he and Dumbledore are one, in a way. Like, Dumbledore is able to just possess Donnie whenever he wants. Okay, then.
Anyways, that's not important. We cut back to Ice Queen, which is the best character, and she's getting attacked by a bunch of bugs in an airship. They crash, Ice Queen wakes up, finds out she's been captured by bandits, and will be sold for ransom. We can only assume that the pilot died. He's a red shirt. Because he's never shown or mentioned ever again.
We then cut to the worst talking with the leader of the White Fang. They argue, and he kills her. God, he is just the worst. Back in Menagerie, Kitty's family makes an announcement about the White Fang's true intentions, and invasion in Haven, and asks the citizens to fight the worst. Chameleon Girl intervenes, spouting BS that they shouldn't help and that the worst will lead them towards the future. Later, we get a scene of the Fox twins telling Chameleon Girl that they need her help in order to kill Kitty's family. I guess since we glossed over this, I should point out that Kitty and Chameleon Girl have some history together. Meanwhile, Winter Soldier beats the living shit out of some bandits and has them take her to her mother, because she needs her to use her portal powers and lazily help Winter Soldier get to Mistral faster. Her mother tells her that going with Mr. Booze and Red is a lost cause and advised not to wrap herself into the plot more. She gets mad over Winter Soldier's choice. Winter Soldier punches a guy through a tent and sees Ice Queen in a cage. Ice Queen busts out of the cage because subtlety was thrown out the door. Bird takes Winter Soldier and Ice Queen into her tent and explains the same exposition that Mr. Booze gave Red and co. I would also like to point out this scene.
It was crazy. We have dust, semblances, but, I mean, there's no such thing as magic.
So you're telling me that in a world with dust, a powder that has elemental properties and is basically materia from Final Fantasy, and semblances, which are basically quirks from My Hero Academia, that magic couldn't possibly exist?
She gives Winter Soldier a choice to side with her or Mr. Booze, and guess what she chooses? Afterwards, Cindy and Co. go to see Burb and convince them to side with her. But they don't know that Burb and Co. secretly plan to take the relic themselves. Anyways, while that's happening, Kitty's family is being attacked by the White Fang. Don't worry about that. It's probably one of the better fights we've gotten in a while, so do worry about that. After that battle, Kitty makes one of the most powerful speeches, and with Chameleon Girl's support, the citizens join to help fight the worst.
And now everything is set for the attack on Haven Academy. And oh boy, this is going to be crazy! So Cowardly Lion tells Mr. Booze and Co. to meet up, and only for it to be an ambush by Burb and Cindy. They argue, John gets angry and attacks Cindy first, and everything just kicks off.
Oh yeah, by the way, Donnie confronts Cowardly Lion, and this big kitty gets bested by Farm Boy with a cane. Just as John and Cindy are about to clash swords, Red gets PTSD of Beacon and Silver Eyes. They do plot thing, which temporarily weakens Cindy.
And then that episode ends with a scene that equally makes Cindy my most hated character as the worst. She throws a spear, impaling Ice Queen, and we're left to wonder, did she really just kill another one? You can't keep getting away with this, you bitch!
Well, of course she's not dead, because Rooster Teeth realizes that a tsundere character is just a moneymaker. Then this guy finds out Donnie is Dumbledore. He inserts some dust steroids into his arms and starts going full Hulk smash on Donnie. Meanwhile, Cindy, Burb, and the Spring Maiden go to retrieve the relic. Of course Cindy betrays them, because that's what she does. She freezes Burb, stabs the Maiden, but anime plot twists on bias.com. Burb is the Spring Maiden.
Oh right, I guess the White Fang are here now. Only for Kitty, Marjorie's residence, and Mistral police to surround the White Fang. And there's only one thing to do. The worst runs off like the little bitch he is. And with that out of the way, Winter Soldier pranks Quicksilver with the old fake arm trick and heads to Bird and Cindy. By the end of a decent battle, Fake Maiden, in her dying breath, shoots Cindy, distracting her as Burb shoves lightning in her face. As she falls, Burb freezes Cindy and she disappears into the darkness. And the first rule of anime is if we don't see the body, they ain't dead, Chief.
Mother and daughter have an argument over who should take the relic. I don't remember exactly what their points were. It doesn't matter because Winter Soldier gets the lantern anyways because Burb just chooses to vanish. Emerald! Goes crazy and unleashes ungodly illusion of Mama Grimm. Great something new to terrify my nightmares. Anyway, Team RWBY is reunited. And roll credits.